I'm on day 107 now. Since she showed me I was strong enough to put that bottle down. Well, I struggled and I tried, but the demons here inside, well, they got the best of me. Until she said she had to leave, out of my mind and out of whiskey. Since the day she said goodbye, well, I never thought that it would hit me like a freight train rushing by. The sight of her leaving, well, it tore my heart in two. So sweet whiskey, I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to you. It won't do any good to say I won't miss her, and I did the best I could. Deep inside I knew one day I would drive her away. Now she ain't coming back. I don't deserve a girl like that. Out of my mind and out of whiskey. Since the day she said goodbye, I never thought that it would hit me like a freight train rushing by. The sight of her leaving, well, it tore my heart in two. So sweet whiskey, I'm coming home to you. That I could be. I guess there's just no saving me. Out of my mind and out of whiskey. Yeah, since the day she said goodbye. Whoa, I never thought that it would hit me like a freight train rushing by. The sight of her leaving, well, it tore my heart in two. So sweet whiskey, oh sweet whiskey, I'm coming home to you. Oh sweet whiskey, I'm coming home to you.
And that was Sweet Whiskey by Crossroads Station. We're going to talk to them a little bit later in the show, but this is the Lori and Carlin Show on GoneRogueRadio.com. I'm Carlin Haggerty, and Lori Graves will not be with us tonight due to technical difficulties. So in order to get me the regulated ration of crap that she was going to give me, I've invited along Dave, Uncle Buck McPherson, and Chris Kesey. How you doing, Dave?
Good, Carlin. How are you?
I'm just fine, thank you. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing well, despite Dave's lies.
Well, I understand. I understand. Doing well, not looking well. How's that? How's that? We usually start out the show with a WTH, and we all know what that stands for. Something that's made us a little unhappy right now. And I'm just going to go ahead and kick it out there with in Baltimore, Maryland right now, they are rioting in the streets and burning down their town because of the death of a prisoner in police custody. And basically what's going on is we know that the gentleman was arrested by the police, and we know that 7 days later he died of spinal injuries. And what happened in those 7 days is still yet to come out and be public. The citizens of Baltimore, and not the majority, the very minority, the media kind of drives this, I think, but the minority of the protesters are getting violent. They're busting up the city. They're breaking into pharmacies and burning down buildings and stuff like that. And pretty much just, crapping where they eat. And I think it's pretty stupid on their part. I really do. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think you noted the media. Personally, I think CNN loves this, and so does Fox News and MSNBC. They shots down on the street of everything going haywire and fires starting in a war zone that they get to report on and increase their viewership. So of course they love it.
I think it
they
builds
focus on all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it builds more riots. But I take a bit of a contrarian view in that I'm not sure anymore that anything happens that's positive if people don't flip out and riot. I'm not sure peaceful protests work anymore. I think we've got almost in a sense like people are tired of peaceful protests, and there's definitely a legacy of oppression, and in certain and I don't think it's all the people in the community. It's a small number. Just like I don't think it's all the police officers who are beating the crap out of them. But the whole thing, we focus on this little microcosm of mess. Make a huge deal out of it. But, I definitely think hopefully it's brought attention to some things that absolutely need to change. And maybe people wouldn't have paid attention had it not been for people rioting.
That could be true.
I think the issue about whether peaceful protests work or don't work anymore, I think back about in the late 60s and 70s, when I was a youngster, and there were a lot of protests and there were a lot of riots, and there was some of them there was a lot of violence, and other ones there weren't a lot.
Did you see a lot of social change come about from that?
I think it obviously created some change, but the point is I don't think it's much different now than it was back then.
Just more publicized?
But would those...
I think the publicized part is a big thing about it. I think it's not hard to know what's going on these days.
Would the changes that happened as a result of the 60s, specifically the late 60s, if there had not been violence, I know we give a lot of credit and should give a lot of credit to Dr. King, but and the majority of everything he did was peaceful, and I think that's to be lauded and applauded. But at the same time, the whole Malcolm X chickens come home to roost. Violence played a role in that change. The violence was what got the attention of the federal government then.
Well, in that case, it was the violence on the part of the authorities.
Well, there was violence on both sides. You had Kent State violence, but you also had riots.
I was talking about
in many
Dr.
cities.
King in particular.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But you're right, because I remember riots in Athens, and they tried to make it as peaceful as they could, but there were also a lot of windows bashed in. Yeah. And for no apparent reason.
Do you think that's just mob mentality, and they think that because I'm in a big group, there's no repercussions, or?
I think a lot of times it is. I think somebody can pick up a brick and throw it through the window and think it's really funny.
And probably think they won't get caught, or?
Yeah.
And I think there's science behind that. They've shown that when you put people in a group, they'll do things they won't do.
Yeah.
What was that one study in the 60s where they put a bunch of people in a jail?
Yeah.
Remember that? And told them to start beating on each other, and they all started doing it. I wish I could remember the name of that research study.
I do remember a story. My brother, that there was a riot in Athens. He's 3 years older than me, and he went to school in Athens, and a particular sheriff there was pretty proud of the fact that he had acquired a pepper gun, and so I had this big thing attached to a cruiser, and they were going down the street, and it was blowing off, pepper gas bombs and all this. And of course, it was doing its job. But by the time it got through the whole crowd, the the cruiser and the device were just kind of limping through because it had been hit with so many bricks and that sort of
Beaten
thing.
and kicked and
then
struck.
And the funny thing, and I don't know how true this is just a story my brother told me, but there was a guy walking along behind it. He had a gas and big bolt cutters was popping off the tops of the parking meters and stealing all the money.
That's what got Cool Hand Luke in jail.
Oh,
Hey, before we go any further, I want to thank Uncle Buck for his hospitality. We were out here having our show tonight at the Ladybuck Saloon at Uncle Buck's Riding Stable in New Marshfield, Ohio. Thank you for your hospitality, David.
You're welcome.
You can find him on the internet at unclebucksstable.com or on Facebook at Uncle Buck's Riding Stable. And then, of course, we have the lovely and talented Chris Kesey with us tonight.
lovely.
He is
Well,
lovely.
you've got a face for radio. I know that's the old joke. But you can find him at chriskesey.com, ChrisKeesey.com, or on Facebook at Chris Kesey. And these gentlemen have been nice enough to donate their time for this radio show, and it's appreciated.
Donate.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Lori has the checks. See her.
Yeah.
But no, this is a great place. It's a gem of the National Forest to come out here. The hospitality is second to none, and you can get a great barbecue. And there's some nights you can even catch the band Kesey playing, or maybe even the Blues
sure can.
Cowboys shaking a
Actually,
leg.
May 16th. is the
May 16th?
And
Okay,
Ben
that'll
Davis.
be. And Ben Davis. Holy cow, that reprobate.
Yeah.
Awfully darn.
We're gonna get him on and off quick, you know.
Well, I understand. Hopefully some of you guys will rub off on him.
Well, we try.
Yeah. Chris, what's got you torqued off this week?
Those fests, or that fest in Athens, what the Number Fest,
The Number Fest.
drives me bats. It's on my only route into town, or it's along my only route into town.
Let's set this up for
Yeah,
people who don't know. It's
absolutely.
Athens as a college town, Ohio University, and they have a few festivals during the year, and basically it's an excuse for the kids to get together and party, and they'll have music, they'll have entertainment, they'll do crafts and every other thing that college kids like to do, and they come in large droves. How many people did you say show up for this thing?
Oh, it's like 20,000,
It was-
25,000.
Yeah, between 20 and 25 is what I read. in the paper.
Holy cow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Athens has how many people in it? 1,000 probably.
About that, yeah.
So we just
Doubles
about
ours.
we doubled the size of the
Yeah.
town, and half the people are here to get drunk and party and pee in public.
Well, and I don't even mind drunken, party. I mean,
Peeing in public.
Peeing in public, I don't mind if it's an Uncle Buck's, go right ahead. But,
If it's
no,
away from your family, have a little
right,
class
it's-
about yourself.
It's something about these fests that brings in a very unique crowd. They're belligerent. They take over a humongous swath of the west side of town.
Uh-huh.
So anywhere you need to go, you've got belligerent people like screaming at you, like insulting you, and the destruction that they bring to town is crazy. Like they destroy a lot of local businesses. See a lot of destruction. You mentioned the peeing; they pee
Yeah.
everywhere.
And it's the mob mentality. They think
It's
they can get
total
away with
mob
everything
mentality,
and do what they want.
And they don't care. You can be driving with your kids up the road, and they'll still yell obscenities at you, and everything else. And the final spike in my chest on it is that the whole thing's promoted by some guy from Columbus who doesn't even live here. He
Is
goes
there
goes home and pays taxes.
Is there
I
an
mean,
entry fee out there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I didn't know what the
yeah.
deal was. I didn't know how he
At the
made
vet?
it.
Oh yeah, he charges. Well, not only that, and then you see these articles in the newspaper that says we're committed to safety. So because of that, there aren't going to be any more of these pickup trucks giving rides to the fest. We'll provide you with rides.
No, I don't even think they're going to provide buses anymore.
But they did this year.
This year,
and they
yeah.
charged.
Right.
So his whole smoke screen of like I care about your safety and about Athens. He's just setting up more things
Yeah.
to make him
What
money.
he's doing to make you safer is letting
Right.
you drive there yourself now.
No more bottles and coolers, but you can come in and we'll sell you beer. Like it's
Yeah.
just full of crap. It's
Yeah.
a guy from Columbus coming down carpetbagging and taking the money and running. That's all it is. And nobody will stand up to him in our town. I don't get it. Why are we hijacked by this guy from out of town?
And this is 13 of these things,
Yeah,
I think.
13.
Yeah,
And
13
from the
fest.
very first one, the first few of them were held at a different venue, and it was the same deal, except it wasn't clogging up a a state road.
Right.
I mean, it was
Well,
called
we'll get into
county
that.
roads or township roads,
Uh-huh.
but still, as they were walking back to Athens from this venue because they couldn't get on the bus and the bus soon enough for their,
Yeah.
satisfaction, they decided to stagger into town, and they were knocking down mailboxes
Oh,
and
man.
Just everything between here and there,
yeah,
huh?
and of course peeing in people's yards on the way, and
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh, the meathead ratio is very high in this crowd. There are
and,
a lot of meatheads.
And and I'll hit on a sore nerve with Dave. These are the same kind of guys that listen to Bro Country. They got their Jason
That's
Aldean
exactly what it
CD
is,
in,
man.
Well-
and they're bros before hoes, and they're frat boys and
it's the
little
same
punks and-
mentality.
It's the same
Uh-huh.
mentality. Yeah.
The music is more hip hop, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
In this case, but it's the same mentality.
But modern country now is hip hop.
Yeah.
You want to get me on another tie, right? That's
Yeah.
Sam Hunt.
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
What is he?
Well, I don't know what it is. It's not country music. I'll tell you that.
Well, I put a standard to it, and one of you guys posted an internet meme that I thought was great that had Waylon, Jenny, and Willie, and one of you guys posted something that had Merle Haggard smoking a cigarette, meeting Rosalind Carter, the first lady, and it says, "You may be cool, but you'll never be."
That was Waylon, I think.
That was
Was it
Waylon.
Waylon smoking a cigarette?
You ain't Waylon
It
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
Waylon beating the first lady cool.
while smoking a
Smoking a
cigarette.
cigarette.
Yeah, and that's. But you know what though? These guys didn't give a damn. They were going to do their
No.
thing, and they were going to do it for themselves. They weren't doing it so they could sell another album or 400 T-shirts or for a girl. They were doing it like music, and they liked that lifestyle, and they wrote about stuff they knew. I've seen the world with a 5-piece band looking at the backside of me.
Yeah.
What kind of picture does that paint? It just tells you what he's doing.
And it's funny because Nashville's just got this cycle of they get entrenched in this way of doing things, and then you got like a Waylon came
Yeah.
along, the whole
Yeah.
you sure ain't done it this way.
Yeah, exactly.
And they bucked the trends.
How about Dwight Yoakam going to
You know, that-
Bakersfield?
Dwight Yoakam
up
going
yours,
to Bakersfield,
Nashville.
you got and now it's Sturgill Simpson
Yeah.
bucking the trends.
Yeah.
And
That whole
overthrowing
Waylon and Willie and the outlaw movement, that is what it was all about. I
Sure.
mean, they were trying to go the conventional route, especially Willie.
Yeah. Well, to the
And-
point of not
and
even living in
they
Nashville.
realized at
They
some
moved down
point-
to Austin. They were like, the hell with this place.
Yeah, and John Paul Glazier and
Yeah.
and all those guys, they just said, hell with it. We're just going to do what sounds good.
Yeah.
And you're either going to like it or you're not.
Well, that's exactly right. And you guys can probably attest as being artists for a few more years than me. We're not in it for the money. Because if we were, we'd be idiots, right? Well, I mean, but then you see.
If we
$100
were,
right
we'd be
now.
getting paid for this gig.
Yeah, well, Lori's got the check, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's Lori Graves. I'll give you her number. But it's just funny to me because people that get into this thing for the wrong reasons, performing, and I'm obviously a stand-up comedian. You gentlemen are musicians, and you've been doing it for how long, Chris?
I mean, I've been playing music in one form or another since I was about 7.
Okay.
So make that, 30, I don't know, do the math, 33 or 34, 35 years.
How long have you been doing it, Dave?
Well, I've been actually playing in bands since I was about 14.
So you've been doing it
And
quite a long time as well.
Right, and I'm 62 now, and I was playing in bars before I got out of high school.
But I mean, it's nice to get paid, and you try to work it to where you get paid for your time and your gas money and stuff like that.
Well,
But at the end of the day, are you in it for the money?
Well, I'm not in it for the money,
Uh-huh.
but here's the thing: people have got to show that they appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I, when I was playing in these bars at 19 years old, I was making the same money I'm making right now.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
been no the rates to
Inflation
pay
didn't hit
musicians
the-
have not adjusted for inflation
It's
whatsoever.
It's so funny you guys say that. I do my 5 questions interview, and I've interviewed I want to say a half dozen touring comedians that have average of 20 years time, and I asked them what's changed, and about 75% of them said not the money.
Yeah.
And it's the same way in comedy. And I think that venue owners and club owners and people that are throwing festivals have realized that we have a love and passion for what we do, and we do it for free. And I think they hold us hostage by our passion.
Well, sure.
Yeah, they do, and they will,
They
and
absolutely
you kind of got to stop.
Stand up for
Unless
yourself.
you stand up,
Yeah.
and because here's the thing, I mean, I can, and this is dead serious. I can go open my case out at the farmers market and make a lot more money than a lot of club owners are willing to pay for a gig. So I've reached the point, well, you know, if that's the case, if you can't pay me at least what I can make opening my case on the street, then why am I going to lug a bunch of crap into a bar? I'll just go open my case, because I still get to play. I still get to play, and I can play whatever I want, however I want, as long as I want, as short as I want. I open up my case. It's so, I guess, I just, out of principle, I won't do it for a bar owner for free.
Well,
it's not like that you won't do an occasional gig for a worthy benefit.
No,
But you
totally
can't,
different story.
Every nonprofit that calls you, hey, we're putting on a benefit, you can't do it. There's just too many.
You've got to have a
them.
standard.
And they're all wonderful.
Sure.
They're needy causes, great causes.
Is the bar giving away beer for the benefit? Are they giving away the beer?
Sure.
No,
but
they're
you know
making
what?
proceeds.
You know what I hate? Well, go ahead and do it this time, and you'll get exposure.
Yeah, that's
exposure can kiss my foot.
Well, I've seen you expose yourself before.
I don't think anybody wants that, do they?
that's a way of getting novices in. I mean, professional musicians aren't going to do that.
And it's the exact same way with comedians.
Yeah.
I read the Riot Act. I put on a few comedy shows here and there, and I know that there's a set amount that the bar owners are willing to pay around here. It's not big city entertainment prices. I'm not paying money to get a Jerry Seinfeld in here. But I had a guy read me the Riot Act, says, you can't go in for any less than, he named a figure that was about 3 times what I was charging these bars. He says, because you're cutting everybody else's throat. Well, no. I can't get in the door. He won't talk to me if I quote him a price of that much. I'm trying to gauge the market, and it's kind of a balancing act. I'm also not asking you to travel from Cleveland, come down, get a hotel room, and go back, for less money than gas money. I'll get people that are kind of regional and that are pretty good, but I won't be able to get, I won't have a Jerry Seinfeld. I won't have a Ron White or a Larry the Cable Guy. So it's just, I guess you get what you pay for. Does that sound right?
Yeah, well, there's a certain supply and demand of the whole thing. It's like any other business.
I think it was funny one time I played at a local Athens bar not too long ago with Blues Cowboys. And the deal with this particular place is you play for the door, and it's not unusual. I mean, people will do that. I've had people do it out here, although I worded it different. It was you're putting on your own show out here.
Yeah.
But I've even quit doing that.
Yeah.
But the funny place about this one bar, the guy who had hired me was talking about the door, and I've told him at the door to be a little liberal about that cover, and winked a good thing to me.
Well, he's just taking money out of your pocket.
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute.
Yeah, are you going to make it up?
Yeah.
That's
like it was a big deal that I get more people in there. I didn't care how many people was in there. I cared that they paid to get it.
Exactly.
I'd go for the door thing, and if it's a well-established bar with a built-in crowd, and they put you on a weekend when foot traffic's going to come in and out of that bar, then I see the door being acceptable. But door gets tough.
Do you guys feel like it's the artist's responsibility to help promote it and put some butts in the seats?
I think they need to help. Yeah.
It's on both.
Yeah.
It's both.
Yeah.
They both. Yeah.
Because they're making money on drinks.
Sure.
We're making money entertaining.
It should be a partnership. It should never be at odds. You succeed, I succeed. It's funny because I've seen a lot of comedians think they're above that. And Dave knows me. When I've got a gig, I'm on Facebook 24/7, just shoving it down somebody's throat. And
you do.
I get told that I'm a publicity whore and I'm this or that. Well, no, I'm just trying to fill some seats, and trying to get some people in there.
I block you on Facebook.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
But for other reasons.
Yeah, it's the nudity.
I block those pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Lori busted my chops. I've got this running gag, and maybe it's just with myself. When I always have this thing where I'll go to the bathroom and I'll do a number 2 and I'll take a picture of my shorts and I'll say, getting rid of all the unfunny. And I think that's funny. Lori cannot stand it. And a lot of people are like, why do you take a picture of yourself in the bath? That's just my thing. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you guys a break and hopefully get you guys to get your instruments warmed up. I'm going to go ahead and go to 5 questions with Crossroads Station. I did a gig with them a couple weeks ago. We were at Rock Around the Block at the Dock at Water, and they put on a great
band,
show.
by the way.
The Crossroads Station?
Oh, yeah.
They are. And they're
Buddies of mine.
They just came back from Nashville. They've been recording down there. And I will get them to tell the story about Miranda Lambert and the toilet she sat on in the recording studio. Because being the rednecks they are, they all had to go use the same toilet that Miranda Lambert had used.
Did they sniff it?
No, I guess they didn't sniff it. I guess they went ahead and just were pretty well normal and conventional. But the bass player Robert Allen said if she ever wanted to remove the middleman, he'd be willing to take her up on it. Take her up on it. But he's the bass player, and his, he's suspect. So yeah.
Yeah.
So here's 5 questions with Crossroads Station. We're sitting here at the Dock at Water. We just got these gentlemen off stage, Crossroads Station. Actually, we're still on the stage. I'm going to go around. I'm going to have you guys introduce your name real quick. Sir?
My name's John Dunphy.
What's your name?
John Dunphy.
Holy cow. What's your name?
Jared Davies.
What's your name?
Jared Davies. Robert Allen. And I'm Eric McInnes.
Russell Allen.
There you go. We got Russell in here too. He's an integral part of the band. Hey guys, I'm just going to make this real short and sweet. How long have you guys been playing music?
Oh my God. We've been playing music forever.
Forever?
Together as we are.
Yeah.
We're working on our 4th year.
4th year? You know what? You guys got started about the same time I did, but you guys are a lot better. That sucks. What would you guys say one of your best or most memorable gigs have been?
Oh my gosh.
We don't have to name names and piss people off, just something you remember.
Yeah, we won't do the bad one because there's one that stands out for that. But last year's show with Aaron Tippin had to rank up there, man. It was.
You like that?
That was a big show.
That was a big show?
That's a good one.
You think he learned anything from you?
I don't know.
I've seen a little of his work since. I can see your influence on him. So the boy seems like he might go somewhere and learn from you.
Yep.
That's pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and just. I don't want to name, but what's the worst hell gig you guys been through?
Oh my gosh. Wow. There's so many.
All of them. All the other ones.
All the other ones. My worst gig, I was at the Marietta Hotel Lafayette, and I'm doing my set, and these 2 ladies had an infant baby on a carrier on the table, and every time my voice came up and I was the host for the show, the baby would start crying. When I'd shut up, the baby would shut up. I got heckled by a newborn.
Yes.
I would have to say the worst for us, we played somewhere down in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And every time you go to a different country, it's really tough. So we played in a hayfield with a bunch of people that were partying and were way more into partying than we were. So it was a different experience for us. They partied different down there than what we do.
They were pretty hardcore, huh?
They were hardcore.
Everybody make it back alive and safe and sound?
Yeah, when we got back to our country, everything was good again.
It was a lot of fun.
Had to get a new drummer.
Lost the drummer.
You guys are like Spinal Tap with drummers.
We're hard on them.
Yeah, Jared, I want you to stay, okay? So
I'm trying to.
yeah, that's awesome. How about what's changed since you guys got started? What have you seen change in the business?
Oh wow. We're still playing a lot of shows. That's not changed. We're still staying very busy. What's changed? Wow.
Has the business changed of anything, or how you guys approach it changed, or?
I don't know.
Before we kind of got into this, I don't want to say as a hobby, but it really was. We was in it playing music, and the fan base grew. Started with the merchandise and the CDs and all that, and the Facebook page, and everything just kind of blew up.
It got serious, like a real band. Not that you're not, but all of a sudden you went from just doing something,
playing in the garage to really trying to do something with it and getting your music out to people across the country.
You guys put on a great show. I mean, you really do. You're real tight, and you've got a great stage presence, and you really project it out there. And everybody that comes really enjoys. It's a party when you guys show up. It really is.
And we appreciate it.
We appreciate it. And the tightness, we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
We've heard that you're not so tight, but that's okay.
That's a whole different story. One more question, I'll let you guys get out of here and clean up. What advice would you give for somebody starting out in the business?
Oh wow.
What do you think, Eric? We're gonna get something from everybody on this.
You've got to first of all love what you do. Do it for yourself. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And treat it like every day is your last. And keep going as hard as you can.
I got told by a drummer, every time you go on stage, pretend it's your last gig and leave it all out there.
Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome.
That's
What do you
good
got for
advice.
me, Robert?
I just think you've got to have your heart in it. Without heart, it's just a bunch of words that someone's singing.
You can tell
gotta
that you
feel
guys believe what you're doing and you guys feel what you're doing every time you get up there. I mean, you can really tell. I've seen a lot of bands play, and some get up there and they play the notes and they play the rhythms, they play the melodies, but it ain't the same. Like you said, you got your heart into it.
It's all about having a good time.
Yes, it is. Jared, what would you say, sir?
I feel like having your heart in it too, but also to be able to make it, you kind of got to be able to risk it all, and to never give up. Unless, I mean, if you, I don't know how to word it.
You really have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, when you perform, you got to give them a little bit of yourself, and that's not easy to do. Everybody's not able for that. What do you say, Grump? What would you give advice to somebody?
Well, you like they said, you have to really want to do what you're doing. You got to play the type of music that's in your heart.
In the
And do it.
and I'll just come back to a question with you. In the 7 decades you've been doing music, what would you say has changed?
Well, we have electricity now.
Awesome. Does that help you?
It does help.
Okay. And John, what would you say if you give advice to somebody getting started?
Oh man, you follow your dreams. I mean, that's so cliche, but I was a young kid, started playing guitar, and I thought someday I might try to do something with it, and I didn't for a long time. But you gotta try it if you believe in yourself. And the biggest thing that I can say is, put people around you that believe in you.
That's awesome.
The people
right
that don't, the people that want to tell you that you're never going to make it or you're never going to be anything. Kick them out the door, man.
That's pretty awesome.
Just build that support group around you that's willing to stick by you while you try to follow that dream.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been 5 Questions with Crossroads Station. You can catch them on Facebook. You guys have a website, crossroadsstation.com?
CrossroadsStationMusic.com.
Crossroadsstationmusic.com. You'll get to see all the fellas and see what they're up to. Go visit it, become their fan, go to a show. You'll get hooked like I did.
We love you, Carlin.
I love you right back. We'll see you guys soon. And that was 5 Questions with Crossroads Station. You can catch them at crossroadstationmusic.com. Some great guys from the area, and they can put on a hell of a show. But let's switch to some live music. And we've got Chris Kesey and Uncle Buck here for more than just being pretty faces and interesting stories. We brought them for their ability to play music. Fellas, what do you got lined up for us?
We'll do a song called Taking the 2 Lane. Just an old road song.
Did you guys write this?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Awesome.
Well, Chris wrote it.
I wrote it.
Okay, well, let's hear what you got.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 foot over the center line, I'm getting high on being free. And I ain't seen no city lights since you walked out on me. I ain't using overdrive so I can hear my motor whine. And I tore off the rear view, leave it all behind. I'm taking the 2 lane, taking the 2 lane. I'm a football type, hoping the rain don't fall. Taking the 2 lane, taking the 2 lane. I got one last beer and $1 to my name on the 2 lane. I'm taking the 2 lane, and I'm driving hard to go nowhere fast at all. An hour from hitting the county line to that place that I call home. 15 years from sanity, can't stop my urge to roam. And I don't need no radio, cause the songs are in my head. I turn them loud to drown out voices in my head. I'm taking the 2 lane, taking the 2 lane. I'm a football tires and I'm hoping the rain don't fall. Taking the 2 lane, taking the 2 lane. I got one last beer and $1 to my name on the 2 lane. I'm taking the 2 lane, and I'm driving hard to go nowhere fast at all. County roads are painted as speed blurs roadside trees, spinning tires and birds on wires direct me where to go. The endless flow of state paved roads have become my home, have become my home. I'm taking the 2-lane, taking the 2-lane. I'm 4-ball tires and I'm hoping the rain don't fall. Taking the 2-lane, I'm taking the 2-lane. I got one last beer and $1 to my name on a 2-lane. I'm taking the 2-lane, and I'm driving hard to go nowhere fast at all. Send it here. I'm driving hard to go nowhere fast at all. And I'm driving hard to go nowhere fast at all.
All right, sounds great, guys. Thank you very much. I really like the harmonies on that. I like that you
Isn't he
guys.
good?
You guys are. I'll tell you, what, I enjoy that.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounded great.
Yeah, just an old road song about how we get to where we're going in these parts, you know?
Do you
That's how I
think?
got here tonight.
I think some of the funnest parts of going to gigs and shows is the ride back with your buddy, and
the best part. I
you're
love it.
replaying the highs and the lows,
Sure
and you're
is.
giving each other crap. And
Sure is.
you know my road partner Jared Sims.
Uh-huh.
We travel to shows back and forth, and he's great, but it's the same MO, or it was until he got a girlfriend. We would take off, we'd laugh about the gig for about the first 30 minutes, then one of us that wasn't driving would get on our phone, start trying to text women and line up a woman to get back in town with. When we turn the microphone off, I'll tell you a couple stories about that, but that's not anything that...
Then you'd get home, just go to bed.
Well, most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Occasionally we hit the lottery, or, you know, I'd like to say the worst night of some young woman's life, but it's how it works. Yeah. What do you think the longest ride home you've been, whether it was time-wise or heavy on your heart?
It was the one that sticks out in my mind of all goofy places. I played this show in New Bedford, Massachusetts.
I know where New Bedford
You
is.
know where New
Yes,
Bedford
sir.
is. An old fishing town in Massachusetts. And I was living out on the East Coast playing. I was a drummer originally. And lived out
Is
east.
that right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't start playing guitar and writing songs till 3 years ago. I've been a drummer since I was 7. So, but I was doing a gig out there with a band, and you know, and had a fairly long drive. We needed to get to Boston. We just didn't. For whatever reason, I just remember that drive from New Bedford to Boston, and just being depressed. It was mostly just depression because I was just tired. Had been playing a long time, had been, you know, just going out on the road a lot,
Sure.
also working a day job a lot, and you know, 3 a.m, just riding back from there like, what am I going to do?
What am I doing with
I
my
can't
life? Why am I
continue
doing
to be
this?
this tired.
Yes.
It was that one of those drives,
Uh-huh.
and the band was in the car, but it was just one of those, more than, when it gets to be more than just tired.
The weight of the world
When
got on
it's-
your
Yeah,
shoulders.
when it gets in your bones and you're just like, oh
Wow.
man.
What about you,
Yeah,
Dave?
as much as you love it, sometimes it does turn into a chore.
It gets, yeah.
Occasionally it's work,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've had some of my longest drives driving from the bottoms in Columbus to the south end.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? I mean, playing
Yeah.
a bar and it's just a shitty night and it was a shitty place and you know, maybe a shitty band sometimes.
Just-
you,
and
and
then-
you know, like you, because you play comedy in bars, you meet. Sometimes of the bars are, it's just the lowest of low. You know, I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got the exact opposite of that last time in Batavia at their Eagles Lodge. And it's a real small lodge, maybe 50 people, 55 people in the audience. And myself, I don't think I've introduced you to any of these guys. These are all Cincinnati guys. There was Ray Price was on the show. Dan Dean hosted it. Wendy Ferguson is a midget, and people say it's not politically correct, but that's what she calls herself and tells me to call her, so I don't think I'm hurting her feelings when I call her that. And the headliner was a guy named Rob Wilfong, and I was right there in the middle somewhere. But these people wanted some entertainment. We were big outside entertainment to them. It was something new for them. They loved everything we did, and they really enjoyed it. And it was a 2.5 hour drive home. It took about 8 minutes as far as I knew. You know, you just go home. You're on the go.
Kind of the flip side. Yeah.
Now, one night coming, I do this gig during the winter in Marietta at the Hotel Lafayette, and I host their.
Great old hotel.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
It's a great old hotel.
And I host their comedy shows, and they have touring comedians come in. And one night we had a drunk table, and I got into a little verbal riff-raff set, and for 12 minutes I was the most evil, hated, worst person in the world. I mean, I stunk it up that night, and it was because I turned the crowd against me early.
Yeah.
But when that show was done, I had to sit there for another hour and 20 minutes until the feature and headliner did it, and then I get in my car and I've got to drive an hour and 40 minutes home. And you're coming along the river in Marietta, and it was cold that night, and I couldn't get warm, and it's just like what you're saying. The weight of the world just dropped on my shoulders. I felt everything closing in on me, and I thought, I don't know if I ever want to tell another joke again.
Yeah.
Of course, it passed.
Yeah,
sure. It's funny how it does.
Well, getting back to the playing in bar thing. That's even though they're tough, that's probably my favorite thing to do. I've always played in bars. I've always enjoyed playing in bars. I like it when they're a little bit rowdy. I referred to it one time in one particular bar where they were pleasantly drunk.
Pleasantly drunk.
I know exactly what you're talking
now,
about.
to the average person, they would have been a bunch of drunken assholes. But I was having a great time.
Huh.
And
do you think it's the vibe sometimes? Just, people are in a good mood.
I think it is,
around?
and I think when they're at that level and well, it's just like down at Court Street Grill with us. I mean, those people, they get drunk early and they're having a great time.
They can get drunk and it's just a wonderful, pleasantly drunk.
Yeah.
It's a
and they stay with you. You know,
they do.
And I know because I've seen you guys play down there. Well, I was the last time you guys were down there. I come down to watch. And, I missed the last one. Oh, I apologize. I apologize.
We remember that crap. Yeah. We wrote about it on the bathroom wall.
I don't doubt it a bit. I don't doubt it a bit.
Pretty nasty words.
That's okay. I'll erase it this weekend when I go down. It's okay. But you guys played that night, and I enjoyed it. And I had Bradley Jones come down, and Deb came down to watch.
Yeah.
It was just a good time. Everybody was into it. You guys had the whole crowd drawn into what you were doing. Yeah. And, I mean, it's really enjoyable when everybody's feeling it.
I consider that place home base. I mean, if we've got a home bar, it's that bar.
Court Street Grill in Palm
That hurts my feelings a little bit, too. But
well, I think we played there more than we played here now. Right?
Maybe, but you made more money here.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you see, I'm not in it for the money.
There's money to be had out here? Wait a minute, I've done several shows. There's money to be had out here?
I've gotten some good gigs.
All right, this may all change on the 16th, where this becomes home base again.
There you go.
This has been out of my... We haven't played here in months.
Yeah, and I'm teasing because I really enjoy Court Street, too.
And Jackie Welker has a great establishment.
Jackie's a great guy,
The food is awesome. You'll always see something different.
He's changed the musical expectations in Southeast Ohio.
He raised the bar.
Take Athens out of the equation.
Yeah,
Athens is an anomaly.
And that's
whatever
one of the reasons I like
is.
it, because I feel the same way, and I've done the same.
He takes Southeast Ohio musicians, not carpetbaggers.
No.
Yeah.
And he plays them.
And he's raised the bar. He's made some good.
People expect good music there.
And they get it.
Yeah.
I mean, they get it. I'm going to be down there Saturday night with Elephant Head and then Ben Davis Jr. Ben Davis Jr. just a cool kid, and I'm gonna.
Isn't he though, man?
He's our little brother.
Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he
He's
be?
our little brother.
He was Ben Davis Jr. and the Dirt Poor Troubadour. Changed the name to Dirt Poor
Troubadours
because he said this isn't about Ben Davis, this is about all of us, and that's what he told his bandmates, and that's pretty stellar.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I mean, how many times down the road have you seen the lead singer be this big-headed guy who thinks he's better than the rest of the band, and that.
He is.
Yeah.
No, that just shows his character.
He's got another good group of people that he's taken out, like on the 16th that he's playing up here with Bart Wiseman and
Bart's great.
Yeah, a couple other guys, and they're a whole different kind of animal.
Yeah.
Bart's playing upright bass, and
Bart's
one of those guys who can play about it.
So, settle on a price with Bart, and don't tell him you're giving him a bar tab. You'll lose your shorts.
I've known Bart for a long time.
Okay, so you won't make that mistake. And you don't have to say bad things about him. I did, okay?
I only know Bart from Facebook.
Oh, I love Bart.
saw him do a classic old Buck Owens tune on Facebook, and I about dropped my drawers. I was like, holy crap, he did it so well.
He's that way with blues too.
My gosh,
he
does it
can
well.
rip blues off. And he's not just a bass player, you know.
No, he was playing guitar.
And he played in the blues band. What the hell's the name of that blues band? Well, he's had several. He always says blues to your mother.
Yeah. That's how he does it. Yeah, you're exactly right.
But he kicks ass on some blues.
Bart Wiseman kicks it. Napper. Dwayne Napper.
Dwayne, yeah.
He was out here with Eastwood the night that
Troy Howdy show.
Dave put me on the third show I'd ever been on. He got me up here with Eastwood, and we had a great time that night. And we packed the house that night, and we had a blast. Now,
now there's a good example. You guys all work for the door.
Yeah.
And Troy Howdy show, the bass player in the band, standing there with a wad of money.
Yeah.
And looked at me and said, "This doesn't happen very often."
Yeah. But I mean, that was a fun night though, and everybody in the crowd was enjoying themselves, and we had a whole bunch of. I think it was just all friends and family showed up. I don't even think we had any outsiders showed up.
Yeah, well, you know.
But it was a good time. So Dave, for whatever reason, liked what I had to do, and he invited me back up 2 weeks later for the Blues Cowboys, and we had a nice storm, and you played music for me, and I told jokes for you that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, and I got to see Becky and Cass dance behind the bar.
Carlin got the best end of that deal.
Yeah.
He says he's had me back, so I don't really believe him too much. No, Dave, I'll tell you what. All kidding aside, Dave has encouraged me. He's given me advice. He has helped me out with gigs, and he's introduced me to a lot of people. I mean, it's appreciated, and I think it's really cool for a comedian to hang with musicians because there's no competition, there's no backstabbing. I mean, just help us out, and we help you out, and it's pretty cool.
We just find a good one to hang with.
Well, if you can find one, let me know.
You got to be careful greasing each other so hard because somebody's going to slip and fall on the floor.
Understood. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause this for just a second, and we'll be right back. Okay, I've finished my business that I had to do, and we've got a few more minutes.
Did you flush?
Yeah, that's something that we were talking about earlier, which is kind of funny. I used the commode, not the toilet or the wash closet or the water closet, but I used, and it's WC or the loo if you're in Great Britain, but that's kind of funny.
Yeah, well, we're in Benton County, buddy.
Certainly. We were just chatting off the air about a little something that happened last time we were down at Court Street Grill. And what were you telling us, Dave?
Well, you'd mentioned Deb Landholt coming down, and of course you know, and she's probably one of the best blues singers originally out of Texas, but she lives in Columbus now. She got her band's Long Tall Deb and the Werewolves of Alabama, and they just burn it up. They're great, and they're all good friends of mine and Carlin.
And aren't they just cool people?
They are.
They really are.
Although Melvin and I are days.
Well, it's your bass players. You got it to do.
But she came down to hear the band Kesey when we played down at Court Street Grill, and there was a couple of ladies sitting in front of her that she knew because they were from the Blues Alliance in Parkersburg, and they were they'd hired Deb and the Werewolves to play the year before at the Blues Fest at that
Hotel Lafayette in Marietta. Yeah.
And break, she said I was talking to these ladies, and they're pretty much just big blues fans, and one of them looked at me and said, "I can't believe I like this shit. This band is incredible, and I hate country music."
It's a pretty common thing. We hear that a lot. Because people think they know what country is. Because recently, when you turn on country radio, you hear Luke Bryan or God knows what other
Jason
country.
Bieber or whoever the hell he is. Yeah, Justin Aldean or any one of them scumbags.
And so they think they understand country music, and we've really gone back to, much like what you see happening with Sturgill Simpson. But we've gone back and tried to reclaim what was unique and what was great about country music and play it like that.
Well, and there's a lot of similarities with country and blues, and most blues players respect country players and vice versa.
certainly.
It's a
And
discipline more
yeah.
than as much as it's a.
I've heard country music referred to as a white man's blues.
Yeah, indeed.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that you're talking about, the bro country. A friend of mine, when I was in the Navy, coined a term. I don't know if he coined it, but he always called them drugstore cowboys. He said they had the polished boots, and you know they had the big 30-pound buckles that looked like they won a heavyweight title.
Well, that was the
somewhere.
Ready-Made Rebel thing. You're going to play that song later, I think.
Yeah,
That's
Ready-Made
exactly
Rebels.
what
are-
Ready-Made
that's
Rebel's
Ready-Made
about.
Rebel.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
And-
exactly what it's
well,
about.
And that's not so much the bro country guys. That's just, I'll tell you, the first time I saw that was back in the early 70s with the Urban Cowboy thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden,
Everybody was a
everybody
cowboy.
in town had cowboy boots and had these $150 hats with $100 feathers in them.
And
Yeah.
never in their life had
Yeah.
probably ever stepped in horse shit.
Yeah.
Never in their life.
No.
And you know the old guys, you always heard them say that guy's all hat and no cattle.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
pretty much what they were.
Yeah.
Now I'm not the biggest cowboy in the world, but I have baled hay and I've done a little bit of this and that. And if David ever put a gun to my head, I'd come up and help him around here. But
Yeah.
hopefully
Oh,
he
he's
doesn't
still
carry
got a big
fire.
pile out there.
I
he's
know.
dealt with.
Well, I heard about that pile and all that. There's a gentleman, a friend of ours, that hauled it, John Knox.
Oh, yeah, John's great.
Isn't he a wonderful guy?
Yeah, he's going to come up and move it for me here for long, too. 'Cause
Well, if you get the opportunity, he loves to drink cold beer and play euchre, and he can tell stories with the best of them.
Yeah,
He's a
I
very
kinda
interesting young
figured
man.
that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with John. I soiled the side of his van one time on a racing trip. We would race all day and drank whatever we could drink, and then we went to this steakhouse and we're drinking shots of whiskey with our dinner, and we get in the truck or the van to go back to the hotel. And they knew that I was feeling poorly, so they put me up in the front passenger seat of the van where it had a window. And I started to get sick, and I hit the switch on that window, and this was an old Chevy conversion van, and that window just inched down, and I'm gagging and coughing and squeezing. And it seemed like it took about 6 hours to get that window down far enough to get my head out, and I painted the side of the
I'm
van.
kind of glad because when you said
Yeah.
you soiled the side
Yeah,
of that
yeah,
truck, I wasn't quite sure which was all going to work itself out.
With Carlin, it could have been that way.
It could have been either way.
I really had a picture in my mind of where
Yeah.
that might have been going. And
Well, it is what it is.
That picture of Carlin's ass hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. We had had that. We would have stopped the van for that. We already had a contingency plan. We had a contingency plan,
Just
but
long enough to shove your
exactly,
the rest of the way out.
yeah, exactly. But no, I got sick and soiled the side of his van, and we went on. We still remained friends, and it was nasty. It looked like somebody put a coat of nasty on the side of his van. I don't even want, like buzzard puke. I guess that'd be the best thing to say. Dave, we sitting here talking about a song of yours. You guys got one more to play for us?
Well, yeah, I got one that I wrote
Okay.
I'm just going to watch his hands and try not to mess up his
35, 40 years ago, maybe.
And what song is this?
It's called Can't Be Wrong. I actually wrote it about Becky.
Yes, you did. I like this one.
Of course, you know, like I said, that was 35, 40 years ago.
We won't let her listen to this part of it.
I think I might be a little wrong.
We won't let her.
No, you know me. I love
You're
Becky.
just funning.
Yeah. Saddled his horse with the skill he's always known. Green eyes and blonde hair crossing. He thinks about her smile and how she used to sing. And Lord, I hated to leave her behind. La na 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 na. La na 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 na. Lori still thinks about her after all these years. Wishes they'd taken the time to say, I would give the rest of my life for one more night with you alone. And I would give you all of my heart, make a special night our own. If only you would come to me, I think I could make you see. One night with me, it can't be wrong. I would give the rest of my life for one more night with you alone. And I would give you all of my life, make a special night our own. If only you would come to me, I think I could make you see. One night with me, it can't be wrong. If only you would come to me, I think I could make you see. One night with me, can't be wrong.
That was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was an original by Dave McPherson, accompanied by Chris.
Sorta.
Sorta.
Kinda.
Yeah. We're going to do our plugs, and we're going to get out of here. Seems like the hour's passed really quick. Thank you, guys. You made it really interesting for me. Really appreciate this.
Plug the May 16th thing.
May 16th at Uncle Buck's Riding
Buck's.
Stable. Please come up here. You're going to
Gonna
hear
be a
me a
big
lot
party.
of fun. The greatest thing about it is I will be in Kettering, Ohio, and you won't have to put up with my bull crap. So,
Dave
All
will-
the money on
Dave
that
will be
event
here.
is going to put the bridge in down at
Moonville.
Tunnel.
Yep, it's a benefit to save one of our natural gems, the Moonville Tunnel. We're going to put the bridge back in, and it's going to be a great day. When Buck throws a party, it's a party. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun up here.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of music that you would never get a chance to hear, and there'll be some surprises, and there'll be a lot of quality entertainment.
A lot of people could soil the sides of cars.
Yeah.
or
I hope
even-
so.
even
Or the
their
sides
drawers.
of horses.
Yeah.
Well, yep, it could very well happen.
Yeah.
You'll get the best barbecue in the forest, and hospitality will be second to none.
And the Neil Shaw Memorial Trail Ride
The Neil Shaw Memorial Trail
will be
Ride.
going on earlier that day, and then the Neil Shaw Memorial Barn Dance is what we're calling it.
Awesome. That's going to be a great time. I'm going to get the plugs in here. Chris Kesey has been very gracious to give us a couple CDs. ChrisKesey.com or Facebook Chris Kesey, UncleBucksStable.com, or go on Facebook to Uncle Buck's Riding Stable. Chris was nice enough to give me an extra copy of his CD. It's called Die in Town. You can find it on iTunes or Amazon. And the person who emails before the next show, which will be next Monday, lncshow@yahoo.com. Send us an email telling us why you should have the Chris Kesey CD Die in Town, and we'll send it out to you. So we've got prizes to give. Top that, Lori. I love Lori with a passion, and I hate her with as much passion. So. Anyway, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to take it out of here with a single off of the CD Die in Town. It's called Ready Made Rebel, and we're going to kick it over to Chris Kesey. Thank you very much. This is the Lori and Carlin Show on GoneRogueRadio.com.
Jim is all rebel, he'll tell you it's his middle name. And I know rebels, and they ain't all built the same. There's those who lived and burned their lives at both ends, and those who play dress up and follow the trend. Well, he's a ready-made rebel from his hair down to his boots. Yeah, he acts real tough and has a real bad attitude. He'll have you thinking that he's rougher than homemade boots, but he ain't real rebel, 'cause he's got too much to lose. When you see a rebel, you can't always be too sure.